Okay, let's take a little bit of break. I cannot concentrate. And then we go again because I did not understand what they mean here. It's very confusing. I have to do it again because I don't understand. Maybe I was a little bit hungry. That's why I couldn't concentrate. Let's read this again, I think. Invisible carriage. In the last lesson, we learned that every Japanese sentence has the same core, the main carriage and the engine, also known as A and B. As the thing we are talking about and the thing we are saying about it, and I told you that we can have a lot more carriages as sentences become more complex, but they still always have the same core. Now we are going to look at some of those extra carriages. Previously I stated that while every sentence has the same two core elements, you can't always see both of them. You can you can always see the engine, but sometimes you can't see the main carriage. Why not? You can't see the main carriage has been replaced by the invisible carriage. So what is the invisible carriage? In English, the closest equivalent is it. Okay, so the closest equivalent in English to the hidden carrier is it. So let's begin by saying what it does in English. What it does in English. Let's look at this example. The ball rolled down the hill. When the ball got to the bottom, the ball hit a sharp stone. The ball was punctured and all the air came out of the ball. Now, would anybody ever say this? Of course they wouldn't. Because once we have established that we are talking about what we are talking about, we replace it with it. Okay, makes sense. Instead we say the ball rolled down the hill. The ball rolled down the hill. When it got to the bottom, it hit a sharp stone. It was punctured. It was punctured and all the air came out of it. It means nothing. It means nothing. It can mean absolutely anything. If I say it, I may be talking about a flower or about the sky. I may be talking about the tree, finger up the tower, whatever. It in itself doesn't mean anything. You know what it is from context. Now let's suppose a small child tries to say this and says, ball rolled down hill, got to bottom, hit sharp stone, got punctured, all the air came out. Now, is that difficult to understand? So, it isn't difficult at all, is it? Because in fact, we don't need to say to use it every time, over and over again. To understand what's being said. Why? Because in fact we don't. While English grammar demands we do, but there is no actual communicative need to include it every time. So what are you trying to say is that in Japanese they don't use it all the time. They speak like a child. While English grammar, Japanese doesn't have it. They don't have it at all. Okay. So if a small child or even an adult comes down to the kitchen at night and someone sees her, she might say, got really angry, came for something to eat. Again, there is nothing confusing or difficult about this. She means I got really hungry, came for something to eat. Again, there's nothing confusing or difficult about it. She means I got hungry, I came down for something to eat. In English, this isn't a proper sentence, but in Japanese it is. All those little pronouns like it, she, he, I, they in Japanese can be replaced by the invisible carriage, the zero pronoun. But the important thing to remember is that they are still there. So let's look at this at work in Japanese. I might say Dori da. Dori da. That means I am Dolly. Initially, this looks as if it only has an engine and no main carriage. But actually the main carriage is simply the invisible carriage. Full sentence is really zero ga Dolly Dorira. Ga doesn't need it. Ga is not needed because there is no I, there is no atashi. We can say that I is the default value of the zero pronoun, the invisible carriage. However, the context can define it as anything. Can say that I is the default value of the zero pronoun. The invisible carriage, however, the, we can say that I is the default value of the zero pronoun, the invisible carriage. For example, if we hear a rustling, in the woods and look over the direction of it and say Use, use, usa, usagida, usagida. Sa, okay. Usaginda, usaginda. That means zironga, usaginda. It is a rabbit. It, that thing we just looked toward in the rustling in the woods. Rustling in the trees. That's a rabbit. If I say Saturday, I'm saying it is Saturday. What's it? Today is. All these elements are full, complete Japanese sentences with a ga marked subject, a carriage, main carriage, and an engine. Doyubi. Doyubi da. I'm going to introduce you to one more kind of carriage, and that is an wo car. O. This means a noun marked by the particle wo, pronounced o. And if you know the English grammar term object, which means the thing we're doing something to, it's a good mnemonic to remember that O stands for object. O stands for object. So the wo particle, the wo card, looks like this, and as you see, it's white. Wo, object, noun we are doing something to. It's white because it's not part of the core train. The core train always consists of just two elements, the engine and the main carriage. When we see white cars, we know that they're telling us something more about the engine or about the main carriage. So let's take a sentence here. Watashi ga keki o keki o keki o beru. So let's take a sentence here. That means I eat cake. Watashi ga keiko beru taberu. Watashi ga keiko taberu. Now the core keiko taberu. Now the core sentence here is I eat. I eat. Those are the two black carriages. Watashi ga taberu. I eat. The core sentence is I eat, and keiko is telling us what it is that I eat. So keiki plus wo. The cats are destroying the house. So, the core sentence is I eat. There are two black carriages. I eat. Watashi ga taberu. The white carriage, keiko, is telling us telling us more about the engine, telling us more about what I eat. Core sentence is I eat, and keiko is telling us what it is that I eat, what it is that I eat. Now the interesting thing here is that we may often see this said like this. Keiko taberu. Break and copyright. Now the interesting thing here is that we may often see this said like this. Keiko taberu. without the watashi ga. Keigo taberu. And you already know what's going on when this happens. It's like we said before. The invisible carriage. Is another case where we have the invisible A card. Keiko taberu. We can't have a sentence without a ga. We can't have an action being done without the doer. Can't have a sentence without a ga. Can't have an action being done without a doer. If we say Keiko taberu, what we're really saying is zero ga Keiko taberu. And the default value for zero for the invisible carrier is watashi. So usually this is going to be I eat cake. Although if you are talking about someone else at the same time, it might mean that that person eats cake. Note, just in case, as can be seen from the pictures, every particle attaches to, assigns itself to the word before it, not after it. Whoa. So the ga is for the A person. Aruku. Haruku. We need one more thing to make the core Japanese sentence, and that is the linchpin of every sentence, ga. Ga is the center of Japanese grammar. Every Japanese sentence revolves around ga. In some cases, we're not going to be able to see ga, but it's always there, and it's always doing the same job. It links together A and B and turns them into a sentence. So our core A does B sentence is Sakura ga aruku. Okay. So let's move on to the wa particle. The ni and he particle, helper, compound sentences. Stuck. Causative. Okay, move on. Ko Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Welcome to lesson 3. Some of you are on Japanese already may be wondering how I've managed to get through 2 entire lessons without using or even mentioning the wa, always read as wa particle. I'm well aware that most courses start you with wa from the beginning. Wa, ta, shi, wa, Amerikanjin, da. Pen, 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 wa, pen, wa, aoi. Pen, wa, aoi. The pen is red, blue. The pen is blue. Pen, wa, aoi. And this is really a very, very bad idea because it leaves you completely unclear about what the particles really do and about the logical structure of sentences. However, we are now ready to look at the wa particle and find out what it does. And just as important, what it doesn't do. The wa particle can never be a part of the core sentence. The wa particle can never be a part of the core sentence. The wa particle can never be a black carriage. My God. The wa particle can never be part of the core sentence. It can never be one of the black carriages. The main car, the thing we are saying something about, okay, or the engine B, the thing we are saying about it. Wa can never mark part of core sentence. Black car or engine. It can't be a white car either, because white cars like the war car are part of the logical structure of the sentence. Wa can never mark any other part of the logical sentence white car. Okay. Ga wo u. And A wa marked noun is never part of the logical structure of a sentence. Wa is a non-logical particle. So if wa is not a black car or a white car, what kind of a carriage is it? Well, it's not a carriage at all. A wa marked noun looks like this. Flag. That's right, it's a flag. Why do we depict it as a flag? Because that is what wa does. It flags something as the topic of the sentence. It doesn't say anything about it. That's what the logical sentence is there for. Wa simply flags the topic. Now, some of the textbooks will tell you that a sentence like watashi wa American jin ta literally means as for me, I am American. And that is exactly correct. If they would stick with that logic and carry it through, we wouldn't have the trouble we have. So, watashi means as for me. Watashi wa American jin means American or am American. So as you see, with a sentence like this, something is missing, both from the Japanese and the English. We can't say as for me, I'm American. Neither can we have a sentence without an a car, without a ga marked doer. We can't have, we can't say, neither can we have a sentence without an a car, without a ga. We can't have a sentence without a ga. It must be, it either must be there or invisible, like this. Sentence has two carriers, a, ga, and b. So it can, neither can we have a sentence without an a car, without a ga marked doer. So if we put the a car in, it makes sense in both English and Japanese. Wa flag topic. Watashi wa as for me. Wa topic comment. Full logical sentence comment. Wa American jin. Wa zero ga. Invisible ga. American jin. As for me, I am an American. Now, some of you may be saying, isn't it overcomplicated? Can't we just pretend that watashi wa is the main car of the sentence? And the answer to that is no. Because although it works in this case and some other cases, it doesn't work in every case. And that is why we really mustn't do it. Let's take an example. There is an old joke among Japanese learners, and it's only possible because of how badly Japanese is taught. The joke is a group of people are dining in a restaurant and they're discussing what they're going to eat, and somebody says, Watashi wa u unagi unagi da unagi da. Unagi means eel. So the joke is that this person has literally said, I am an eel. Watashi wa unagi. Watashi wa unagi da. After all, if watashi wa American jin means I am an American, then watashi wa unagi da American jin da must mean I am an eel. That's absolutely perfect logic, except that watashi wa American jin da doesn't mean I am American. It means as for me, I am an American. As we know, the default value of the invisible car, the zero pronoun, is watashi. This one. But that isn't its only value. Its value depends on context. In watashi wa American jinda, as for me I am an American, the value of the zero pronoun is indeed watashi. But in watashi wa unagi da, which is watashi wa zero ga unagi, zero is not. What is this one? Maybe I know it. No, I don't know it. Copy. Mm, I. How it? How is it? In modern English, I is the singular first person pronoun. Morphology. S, s. But that's Chinese. S. That's Chinese. But in watashi wa unagi da, which is watashi wa zero ga unagi da, zero is not this one. Zero is it. It is the thing we're talking about. The subject of the conversation, what we are eating for dinner, watashi wa as for me. Context defined subject in this case, as we are eating. Unagi da il. As for me. And this is going to affect all kinds of sentences as we become more advanced in Japanese. So what we're going to do now is take another one of the cars and look at that and then see how it all works together with wa. The car we're going to introduce today is a white car, and this is the ni car. It makes a kind of trio with ga and wo. In A does B sentences, ga tells us who does the doing. Wo tells us what it is done to. And ni tells us the ultimate target of that doing. Now we don't always have a wo. We don't always have a ni. Go marks doer. All sentences have ga. Wo marks done to object. Doer. Ni marks target indirect object. Each carriage is noun plus particle. A does B sentences. Logical trio. So we always have ga, but we don't always have wo, and we don't always have ni. But let's take this wo sentence. Watashi ga. Watashi ga bo. Watashi ga bo. R. Watashi ga bo. I remember. No, I don't. Watashi ga bo. Wait, this. There it is. Ru. River. What does Ru look like? Wait, why is that Ru? Roots of a tree. Watashi bo. Ru wo. Buru wo. Na. Nageru. Watashi. Watashi bo. Watashi boru. Watashi boru wo. Nageri. Boru. Boru. Boru is a wall. Boru is ball. And nageri means throw. Watashi boru nageri. Watashi boru wo nageri. So this is I throw a ball. Watashi wa watashi ga. Watashi ga boru wo nageri. The core sentence is I throw nageri. Watashi ga nageri. Watashi ga nageri. Nageri. Not nageri, nageru. Watashi ga boru wo nageru. Watashi ga nageru. I throw. I A does B. Watashi ga nageru. In the wo particle, boro, boro. Boro nageru. Watashi ga boro nageru. What is it I throw? And the white card tells us that what I threw, it was a ball. Watashi ga boru wo nageru. White card tells us more about engine. Okay, very makes sense. Nageru. Now, if we say watashi ga boru wo kigurani nageru. Kigurani nageru. No, if we say watashi ga boru wo not ki. Sakura. Watashi ga boru wo sakurani nageru. Sakura is the destination, the target of my throwing. Sakurani nageru. Boru wo tells us more about the engine. Tells us what I threw. The ball. I threw the ball. Sakurani with a ni tells us the destination, the target of my throwing. Watashi ga boru wo sakurani at Sakura. White card. White cards tell more about engine. And it's very important to note here that it is the logical particles ga, wo and ni. Ga, wo and ni that tell us what is happening. And it's very important to note here that it is the logical particles ga, wo, ni that tell us what is happening. The order of the words doesn't really matter the way it does in English. What matters is the logical particle. So if I say watashi Watashi ni sakura ga boru wo nageru. I'm saying Sakura throws the ball at me. Watashi ni. Ah. Watashi ni. The destination of the throwing. The need shows the destination. Okay, wait. This is very important. The ni. The ga. First of all, the ga particle. The ga particle shows us the a carriage of the sentence. The that is the black car, the main carriage. The main carriage, one of the two black carriages. The the wo particle the wo particle shows tells us what what objects, what is the object that is being done to, what is the object that A did to, what I threw. Okay. Tells us what is the doer. The ga shows us the doer. The doer. By the doer. Okay. And the ni shows us the destination of my doing. Tells us the destination, target of the doer's doing. Okay. I think I grasp the meaning of it. I grasp the meaning of it. So we have ga, the doer, the person who is doing the doing, wo, the object that is being done to, that the doer is doing, and ni is the destination of the doer's doing, the target to who he is doing the doing. something like that. Okay. Okay. Ga, ga, wo, and ni tells us what is happening. Tell us what is happening. The order of the word doesn't really matter the way it does in English. What matters is the logical particle. So if I say watashi ni at me, Sakura ga, Sakura is the doer. Boru wo, the ball is what's being done to. The ball is what Sakura ga is doing to. Let's see what she's doing. Nageru. So Sakura ga is throwing Nageru, the ball, at me. Watashi ni. Ni is the destination. At. Sakura throws the ball at me. Okay. Interesting. Very easy. Sakura throws the ball at me. I grasp the meaning of it. Watashi ni at me. Sakura ga, the doer. Boru wo, the object that's been done the doing to. That's the doer is doing the doing to. Nageru, throw, the verb. White cars tell us more about the engine. White cars tell us more about the engine. Very interesting. If I say boruga, So I understand now. Guys, the doer. Wo is the object. And ni is the destination of the doing, of the doer's doing. Okay. Wait. Boruga. Boruga. The ball is throws. Boruga. Watashi ni. Boruga, the ball throws. The ball is the doer. Watashi ni. At me. Sakura wo. The Sakura is the object. Tageru. The ball throws Sakura at me. It doesn't make any sense, but we might want to say it in a fantasy novel or something. Okay. Very simple concept. What cars there about the engine? About the verb, of course. White cars are the ni. Where is the throw? Which is the throw's target? This is the first or second. And wo, the second carrier, is what is being thrown. The object. Okay. Okay, very simple. But we're doing everything except for the wa particle here. Okay, we can say whatever we like in Japanese, so long as we have the logic of the particles correct. But now let's introduce wa into this sentence. Now it's wa. Watashi wa Sakura ni boru wo tageru. This is watashi wa zero ga. As we know, what it means is, as for me, I throw the ball at Sakura. Now let's give the wa to the ball. Boru wa. Watashi ga. Sakura ni. What we're saying here, as for the ball, I throw it at Sakura. Boru wa. Boru wa. now is as Watashi ga sakura ni I still did not understand what does wa. What is wa? Ma bo boru 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 wa. Ask for the ball. So why it's ask for Watashi ga sakura ni nageru. The important thing to notice here is that when we change a logical particle from one noun to another, we change what's actually happening in the sentence. But when we change the non-logical particle wa from one noun to another, I can change it from me to the ball. It makes no difference to the logic of the sentence. It makes a difference to the emphasis. I'm now talking about the ball. As for the ball, what happens to the ball is that I throw it at Sakura. But who is doing what? And what they are doing? And what they are doing with it? And what they are doing it to? None of that changes when you change the wa particle. And that's the difference between a logical and a non-logical particle. Okay. Watashi wa Sakura ni bo Sakura ni boru wo nageru. As for me, okay, I think we said that we do the Japanese verb tenses, but maybe we leave it for tomorrow. Yeah, let's leave it for tomorrow. Let's do some kanji.
Yo for the world or epoch kanji. Jo, ue for the kanji meaning above. And shi, ko for the child kanji. In this lesson, you learned about the one radical. The one radical looks like a single horizontal stroke, and it signifies the concept of one. You also learned the kanji characters for one, world, or epoch, above, and child, in which this radical appears. It's most commonly found in the crown or bottom position, and it's written with just one horizontal stroke, going from left to right. In this lesson, you'll learn the word radical.
Let's learn some kanji.
Take a look at these kanji characters. Can you guess what they mean? By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to grasp the meaning behind these kanji.
This is language. Forgot what this is. This is word. Language. Forgot.
Characters. First off, can you spot the radical that's common in all of these kanji characters?
Word.
It's this part here. This particular radical is called
gonben.
the word radical is used in some
Gomben.
some of the most common kanji characters. Let's take a look at it in more detail. The meaning for the word radical relates to words or speech.
From left to right, the first kanji means to say, the second means to talk or story, the third character means language, and the fourth character means plan.
Plan.
As you can see in the first example, the word radical is a kanji character on its own.
Did you spot the smaller mouse radical that we learned in lesson 6? It's this part here. The other parts above it, it's actually the heart radical. The heart spewing from the mouth is symbolic of words. Or meaning to say. You can imagine the lines as words exiting the mouth.
The second kanji has the
Of words. The heart spewing parts above it. It's actually the heart radical. The heart spewing from the mouth is symbolic of words. Or meaning to say. You can imagine the lines as words exiting the mouth. Say. You can imagine the lines as words exiting the mouth.
So the lines are words to say. No, what is it? Exerting.
Say. You can imagine the lines as words exiting the mouth.
Exiting the mouse as words. Exiting the mouse. The mouth. Okay.
The second kanji has the word radical on the left and this other character on the right. Once again, there's the small mouth radical that we learned sitting at the bottom there. Can you guess what the radical on the right is?
Mouth plus what else?
I'll give you a clue. It's a physical muscle in your body.
Tongue.
The large radical on the right represents the tongue. Here's the mouth on the bottom.
To talk. Story. So it's word word plus word plus.
And there's the tongue sticking out of it. Do you see it now?
The word radical paired with the tongue radical.
Right represents the tongue. Here on the right is?
I'll give you a clue. It's a physical muscle in your body.
The large radical on the right represents the tongue. Here's the mouth on the bottom, and there's the tongue sticking out of it.
Tongue. Mouth with tongue sticking out of it. Okay.
Do you see it now?
The word radical paired with the tongue radical gives you the kanji meaning to talk.
The third kanji has the word radical on the left, and this other radical on the right. And guess what? There's that mouth radical again.
There's this other tiny character above the mouth. It means 5. But why 5?
It's traditionally thought that we experience language through 5 paths, using our 2 eyes, 2 ears, and our mouth, which adds up to 5. Together, this character stands for language.
The fourth kanji is the word radical paired with the ten radical, which we learned in lesson 5. Think for a moment and guess what it might mean. Remember, the radical on the right can mean 10, but it can also mean complete.
The meaning of this kanji is
To plan.
words thought to completion means that something has been planned out. We've only learned 6 radicals so far in this series, but are you starting to see how we can already break down and guess the meanings of many kanji characters? Imagine what you could do if you just learned a few more radicals.
Okay, let's move on.
The lines. Okay.
The word radical will almost always be in the left position.
As seen in the original examples for talk, language, and plan.
Notice how the word radical is squished horizontally when it's in the left position.
Okay, now let's learn how to write this radical. The word radical is written in 7 strokes.
The first stroke is a diagonal stroke that starts at the top and goes from left to right.
The second stroke is a long and flat horizontal stroke, which also goes from left to right and sits just under the first stroke.
The third and fourth strokes are identical to the previous stroke, except shorter.
The last section is a box, which sits at the bottom. It's written in the same way as the mouth radical that we learned in lesson 6.
So the fifth stroke is a vertical stroke that goes from top to bottom on the left side.
The sixth stroke goes from left to right, bends, and continues downwards.
The seventh and final stroke closes the box at the bottom.
And that's it! You're done!
When the word radical is on its own, the kanji can be read as
gen for the on reading and I for the kun reading.
When the word radical is part of another kanji,
wa, hana,
for the talk kanji,
go, kata,
for the language kanji, and
kei, haka.
For the plan kanji. In this lesson, you learned about the word radical. It signifies word or speech. You also learned the kanji characters for word, talk, language, and plan in which this radical appears. It's almost always in the left position, and it's written with 7 strokes, 1 diagonal, 3 horizontal, and another 3 making a box. In this lesson, you'll learn.
So, to say, this one means to say. The lines are actually words that come out of the mouth. This character means mouth, is the mouth radical, and the lines are the heart radical. So we can imagine that the lines are words that come out of the mouth. So it means to say, or word, or speech. The second one is the word particle plus the mouth particle with a tongue sticking out of it, which means tongue. So tongue and mouth, word and tongue particle means to talk, story, or story. Okay. The third one is the word particle plus a mouth character plus number 5. So it is why 5? Why number 5? Because it is known that we experience language through 5 senses: 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth, which means 5. So it's language. This one is word plus 10, or completeness. So words, which is this one, thought to completeness means plan. So this character means plan. Means that something has been planned out. Words, thoughts to thought to completeness means that something has been planned out.
And guess what? There's that mouth radical again.
There's this other tiny character above the mouth. It means 5. But why 5?
It's traditionally thought that we experience language through 5 paths, using our 2 eyes, 2 ears, and our mouth, which adds up to 5. Together, this character stands for language.
The fourth kanji is the word radical paired with the 10 radical, which we learned in lesson 5. Think for a moment and guess what it might mean. Remember, character above the mouth. It means 5. But why 5?
It's traditionally thought that we experience language through 5 paths, using our 2 eyes, 2 ears, and our mouth, which adds up to 5. Together, this character stands for language.
The fourth kanji is the word radical paired with the ten radical, which we learned in lesson 5. Think for a moment and guess what it might mean. Remember, the radical on the right can mean 10, but it can also mean complete.
The meaning of this kanji is
To plan.
words thought to completion means that something has been planned out. We've only learned 6 radicals so far in this series, but are you starting to see how we can already break down and guess the meanings of many kanji characters? Imagine what you could do if you just learned a few more radicals.
Okay, let's move on. Set. He or hihen.
The
He, the day radical.
meaning of this
The long left gen.
and
Go. Kata. Left to right. Bends and continues downwards.
learn the kanji character learned about for the when the word radical is part of another kanji,
Wa. Hana.
for the talk kanji,
Go. Kata.
for the language kanji, and
Kei. Haka.
for the plan kanji.
Okay, let's go to the day particle.
Radical. Take a look at these kanji characters. Can you guess what they mean? By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to grasp the meaning behind these kanji characters. First off, can you spot the radical that's common in all of these kanji characters?
The day
It's this part here. This particular radical is called
Hi or hihen.
he has.
the day radical is used in some of the most common kanji characters. Let's take a look at it in more detail. The day radical is a kanji character on its own. It's a pictogram of the sun, and it means sun or day.
From left to right, the first kanji means sun or day. The second means bright. The third character means time. And the fourth character means projection or reflection.
The first kanji is actually one of 2 kanji characters used to write Japan.
As we mentioned before, the first kanji means sun, and the second character means root. Since Japan is to the east of China, and the sun rises from the east, Japan is written as the land where the sun originates.
Or more commonly, the land of the rising sun. The second kanji has the day radical on the left, and this other character on the right, which means moon. The sun and moon together are depicting daybreak, where the sky changes rapidly from night into day.
And so the meaning of this character is bright.
The next kanji has the day radical on the left, and this other character on the right, which means temple. In historic times, the time of day was announced by chiming a large bell at the temple.
So day and temple together means time.
The fourth kanji has the day radical on the left again, and this other character meaning the center or middle of a person's body. The character on the right is actually a pictograph of a man.
A man standing next to the sun alludes to the idea of something being reflected or projected, which is the meaning of this kanji.
Times the letters used to write Japan. Radical is a kanji character on its own. It's a pictogram of the sun, and it means sun or day.
From left to right, the first kanji means sun or day. The second means bright. The third character means time. And the fourth character means projection or reflection.
The first kanji is actually one of 2 kanji characters used to write Japan.
As we mentioned before, the first kanji means sun, and the second character means root. Since Japan is to the east of China, and the sun rises from the east, Japan is written as the land where the sun originates.
Or more commonly, the land of the rising sun. The second kanji has the day radical on the left, and this other character on the right, which means moon. The sun and moon together are depicting Daybreak, where the sky changes rapidly from night into day.
And so the meaning of this character is bright.
The next kanji has the day radical on the left, and this other character on the right, which means temple. In historic times, the time of day was announced by chiming a large bell at the temple.
So day and temple together means time.
Day and temple means time.
The fourth kanji has the day radical on the left again, and this other character meaning the center or middle of a person's body. The character on the right is actually a pictograph of a man.
A man standing next to the sun alludes to the idea of something being reflected or projected.
Body. Day radical on the left again, and this other character meaning the center or middle of a person's body. The
Center or middle of person body.
character on the right is actually a pictograph of a man.
A man standing next to the sun alludes to the idea of something being reflected or projected, which is the meaning of this kanji.
Okay, let's move. It starts on the left and goes from top to bottom.
The second stroke is a tall right-hand corner. It connects with the first stroke.
This particular radical is called meaning the center or middle of a person's body. The character on the right is actually a pictograph of a man.
A man standing next to the sun alludes to the idea of something being reflected or projected, which is the meaning of this kanji.
Okay, let's move on. The day radical will usually appear in the left position.
As seen in the original examples for bright, time, and reflect or project.
When the day radical is part of another kanji character, it shrinks in size.
Okay, now let's learn how to write this radical. The day radical is written in 4 strokes.
The first stroke is a vertical stroke that starts on the left and goes from top to bottom.
The second stroke is a tall right-hand corner. It connects with the first stroke and goes left.
Sun or day. Let's take a look at it in more detail. The meaning behind this radical is movement or path. This radical doesn't exist on its own, so you'll only find it in other kanji characters.
From left to right, the first kanji means near. The second means to return. The third character means weak. And the fourth character means to carry.
The first kanji has the movement radical in the bottom surrounding position, and the portion above it is the character for axe. The function of an axe is essentially to chop things and to make them smaller.
So together, a small movement can mean that something is nearby. So the meaning of this character is close or nearby.
The second kanji has the movement radical in the bottom surrounding position again, and the portion above it is the character for reverse or oppose.
Reverse movement means to return. So this kanji means to return.
The third kanji has the radical in the same position, but this time with the character for circumference. Movement around a circumference alludes to a cycle.
This particular kanji is used to signify the cycle of the week.
The final kanji has the movement radical paired with the character for army. A moving army transports weapons, foods, and goods.
Therefore, the meaning of this kanji is to transport or to carry.
Okay, let's move on. The movement radical will always be in the bottom surrounding position, and because of this, it's easily recognizable.
S can be. And that's it, you're done.
so it'll only appear as part of another kanji. When it does, it can be read as follows.
Kin.
To grasp the meaning behind these kanji characters. First off, can you spot the radical that's common in all of these kanji characters? It's this part here. It looks like a gate or window with two sliding doors. This particular radical is called
門構え.
The gate radical is used in some of the most common kanji characters. Let's take a look at it in more detail. The concept behind this radical is gate, division, or department.
From left to right, the first kanji means gate, the second means period, the third character means question, and the fourth character means to listen. The first example shows that this radical exists as a kanji character on its own.
The second kanji has the gate radical in the enclosing position, and this other character in the center. It's the day radical that we learned in lesson 9.
The concept of the gate radical, together with day, gives us a division of day, which we can associate with a period of time.
The third kanji has the same radical paired with another character that we've learned. It's the mouth radical that we learned in lesson 6.
The department of mouth means to question or to ask.
The final kanji has the same radical paired with another character, which is the kanji character for ear.
The department of ear means to listen. Okay, let's move on.
The gate radical will always appear in the enclosing position, whether it's by itself or if it's used in other kanji characters. And because of this, it's easily recognizable.
As seen in the original examples for gate, period, question, and to
Radical appears on its own, the kanji character can be read as
mon for the on reading and kado for the kun reading.
when the gate radical is part of another kanji,
kan, 間,
for the kanji meaning period,
門, と,
for the kanji meaning ask or question, and
文, き,
for the kanji meaning listen. Look at these kanji characters. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Japanese kanji video series. In this lesson, you'll learn the heart radical. Take a look at these kanji characters. Can you guess what they mean? By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to grasp the meaning behind these kanji characters. In the previous lessons, we learned that kanji characters are made up of radicals, the building blocks of kanji. These radicals give us tremendous clues to the meaning behind kanji characters. Can you identify the common element in all of these kanji characters? It's this part here. This particular radical is called
心,
It's otherwise known as the heart radical. It's used in some of the most common of kanji characters. Let's take a look at it in more detail. On its own, the heart radical looks like this. We mentioned before that some radicals can be kanji on their own. This radical is one such example.
The meaning behind this particular kanji is heart. Mind or spirit.
When this radical appears as a part of another kanji, like in these examples, the appearance changes slightly. When it's a component like this, it adds the meaning of heart, mind, or spirit to the entire kanji character.
If you can identify a radical in the kanji character, there's a good chance that you can guess the meaning of the character itself.
The first kanji has the heart radical, paired with this second character. This second character is also a kanji in itself. This character means to pass away, to disappear.
Here's an easy way to remember this. When paired together, the heart radical and this character, for to pass away or to disappear, you can think of something that disappears in the heart. In other words, you don't care for it. So this kanji character means to forget.
The second kanji has the heart radical paired with this character, which looks
Together,
is kanji
there's a good chance. If you can
heart, mind, or spirit to the entire kanji character.
If you can identify a radical in a kanji character, there's a good chance that you can guess the meaning of the character itself.
The first kanji has the heart radical, paired with this second character. This second character is also a kanji in itself. This character means to pass away. To disappear.
Here's an easy way to remember this. When paired together, the heart radical and this character, for to pass away or to disappear, you can think of something that disappears in the heart. In other words, you don't care for it. Think of something in this character for to pass away. When paired together, the heart radical and this character, remember
When this radical
is
We mentioned before that some radicals can be kanji on their own. This radical is one such example.
the meaning behind this particular kanji is heart. The meaning behind this particular kanji is heart, mind, or spirit.
Behind kanji on their own. Radical looks like the most common of give us tremendous clues to kanji characters. In the previous lessons, we learned that kanji characters are made up of radicals, the building blocks of kanji. These radicals give us tremendous clues to the meaning behind kanji characters. Can you identify the common element in all of these kanjis to the meaning behind kanji characters? Can you identify the common element in all of these kanji characters? It's this part here. This particular radical is called
心.
It's otherwise known as the heart radical. It's used in some of the most common of kanji characters. Let's take a look at it in more detail. On its own, the heart radical looks like this. We mentioned before that some radicals can be kanji on their own. This radical is one such example.
The meaning behind this particular kanji is heart, mind, or spirit.
When this radical appears as a part of another kanji, like in these examples, the appearance changes slightly. When it's a component like this, it adds the meaning of heart, mind, or spirit to the entire kanji character.
If you can identify a radical in a kanji character, there's a good chance that you can guess the meaning of the character itself.
The first kanji has the heart radical, paired with this second character. This second character is also a kanji in itself. This character means to pass away, to disappear.
Here's an easy way to remember this. When paired together, the heart radical and this character for to pass away or to disappear, you can think of something that disappears in the heart. In other words, you don't care for it. So this kanji character means to forget. To care for it. You can think of something that character for to pass away or to disappear. You can think of something that disappears in the heart. In other words, you don't care for it. So this kanji character means to forget.
The second kanji has the heart radical paired with this character, which looks like a window.
An easy way to remember this is imagining someone's heart at the window, thinking of something. So this kanji means to think, to feel,
which looks like a window.
An easy way to remember this is imagining someone's heart at the window, thinking of something. So this kanji means to think, to feel.
The last kanji example for the heart radical means to be in love, to yearn for, to miss. Can you see how we can determine the meaning of each kanji character by identifying the radicals in them? By following this process, we can love. The last kanji example for the heart radical means to be in love, to yearn for, to miss. Can you see how we can determine the meaning of each kanji character by identifying the radicals in them? By following this process, we can deduce the meaning of kanji characters we've yet to learn.
And the more radicals you learn, the easier
The meaning of character by identifying the radicals in them. By following this process, we can deduce the meaning of kanji characters we've yet to learn.
and the more radicals
In this process, we can deduce the meaning of kanji characters we've yet to learn.
And the more radicals you learn, the easier it will be to learn even more kanji. For more ways to remember these characters and many more kanji examples that include a heart radical, go to JapanesePod101.com and check the lesson notes PDF.
The heart radical will, in most cases, sit in the bottom position and connect with another radical above it.
As seen in the original examples for to forget, to think, to feel, and in love, to yearn for, to miss.
When the heart radical is in the bottom position, it shrinks in size. There are two other shape variations of the heart radical. When the heart radical is used in the left position, the shape changes into this, as in these examples.
Meaning busy, occupied, restless, and scary, to be frightened. Fearful.
There's another shape of the heart radical when it sits in the bottom position, which looks like this, as in this kanji.
This kanji means pining, to love dearly. Okay, now let's learn how to write this radical.
In this heart radical,
Scary, meaning busy, occupied, restless. And scary, to be frightened, fear. Fearful.
there's another shape of the heart radical when it sits in the bottom position, which looks like this, as in this kanji.
This kanji means pining, to love dearly. Okay. Okay, now let's learn how to write this radical.
Now let's take a look at the stroke order of the heart radical.
The heart radical is very simple. There are only 4 strokes. When the radical is on its own, it looks like this. The first stroke is a short diagonal line, going from right to left. The second stroke is a long stroke that comes down from the top, then makes an L shape, and ends with a short stroke up. Next, we make a short stroke, almost like a check mark above our second stroke. The fourth and final stroke is a short diagonal line, going from the left to the right.
When this radical is part of another kanji, it usually takes on the bottom position, and the appearance is distorted a little.
It also only takes 4 strokes. The difference is that our third stroke is shallower, It's almost like a backwards checkmark.
And that's it. You're done. When the heart radical is on its own, the kanji can be read as
心、心、
In the case of the original examples, common readings are
棒、わす、
for the kanji meaning to forget.
し、おも、
For the kanji for to think, to feel, and
れん、
the kanji for to think, to feel, and
れん、 こ、恋、恋、
for the kanji for in love, to yearn for, and to miss. In this lesson, you learned about the heart radical. You also learned the kanji characters for to forget, to think, to feel, or to be in love, to yearn for, or to miss, in which this radical appears. It's most commonly found in the bottom position, making it appear like this. And it's written with 4 strokes, a short stroke on the left and a long swooping stroke in the middle. On top, we have a short stroke and finally another short stroke on the right. In this lesson, you'll learn the hand radical.
この、
山田さんの本はどれですか？この山田さんの本はどれですか？この本ですか？
その、
その本ですか？
その、
その本ですか？
その、
その本ですか？その本ですか？あの本ですか？あの本ですか？
どの、
どの本ですか？ どの本ですか？見る。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。見る。見る。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。兄は毎日テレビを見ます。
この、
山田さんの本はどれですか？この本ですか？山田さんの本はどれですか？この本ですか？全然、テレビを全然見ません。テレビを全然見ません。全然、全然、テレビを全然見ません。テレビを全然見ません。テレビを全然見ません。面白い。この本は全然面白くなかった。面白い。面白い。面白い。この本は全然面白くなかった。この本は全然面白くなかった。この本は全然面白くなかった。 この本は全然面白くなかった。この本は全然面白くなかった。この本は全然面白くなかった。この本は全然面白くなかった。この本は全然面白くなかった。この本は全然面白くなかった。この本は全然面白くなかった。する、
彼はテニスをします。
する、
彼はテニスをします。彼はテニスをします。彼はテニスをします。彼はテニスをします。彼はテニスをします。
する、
彼はテニスをします。
なる、
日本語の勉強が好きになりました。
なる、
日本語の勉強が好きになりました。日本語の勉強が好きになりました。日本語の勉強が好きになりました。
なる、
日本語の勉強が好きになりました。日本語の勉強が好きになりました。
なる、
日本語の勉強が好きになりました。日本語の勉強が好きになりました。日本語の勉強が好きになりました。日本語の勉強が好きになりました。
日本語の勉強が好きになりました。日本語の勉強が好きになりました。
先生、私は日本語の先生になりたいです。先生、私は日本語の先生になりたいです。私は日本語の先生になりたいです。私は日本語の先生になりたいです。私は日本語の先生になりたいです。私は日本語の先生になりたいです。私は日本語の先生になりたいです。 私は日本語の先生になりたいです。私は日本語の先生になりたいです。私は日本語の先生になりたいです。
ください。
コーヒーをください。
ください。ください。ください。ください。ください。ください。ください。ください。ください。
コーヒーをください。コーヒーをください。コーヒーをください。
ください。
名前、あなたの名前を教えてください。名前、あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。 あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。教える。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。あなたの名前を教えてください。ここに本があります。ここ、ここ、ここ。ここに本があります。ここに本があります。ここに本があります。 ここ、ここに本があります。
そこ、
そこはトイレです。
そこ、そこ、そこ、
そこはトイレです。そこはトイレです。そこはトイレです。そこはトイレです。そこはトイレです。
あそこ、
彼はあそこにいます。彼はあそこにいます。
あそこ、
彼はあそこにいます。彼はあそこにいます。彼はあそこにいます。彼はあそこにいます。彼はあそこにいます。彼はあそこにいます。
どこ、あの本をどこに置きましたか？どこ、あの本をどこに置きましたか？どこ、あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？ あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？
置く、
あの本をどこに置きましたか？
置く、
あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本をどこに置きましたか？あの本を
家、ここが私の家です。家、ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。ここが私の家です。
帰る。うちに帰ろう。
So this kanji means to return.
The third kanji
This movement means to return. So this kanji means to return.
and the portion above it is the character for axe. The function of an axe is essentially to chop things and to make them smaller.
So together, a small
帰る。うちに帰ろう。うちに帰ろう。うちに帰ろう。うちに帰ろう。うちに帰ろう。